Welcome back to Builds Not Projects. In today's episode, we're going to be working on the Honda Odyssey build. We're going to be unboxing a whole bunch of brand new suspension parts for the rear end. So the rear is going to be getting a bunch of new stuff, getting widened out, better tires, just better everything.
Conveniently, we get to use our boxes to keep ourselves warm.
It's time to talk about this rear suspension that I ordered. So this rear axle and wheels and hubs and bearings all came from GoPowersports.com. I'm not sponsored by them, but if you're affiliated with them, hit me up. These springs are off of a 2013 Polaris Rzr 900. These are the rear shocks, so I'm going to be using these. It's going to be a very large upgrade over those front snowmobile shocks that are on there right now. That's the wrong one, but this one here, just to give you an idea, is going to get mounted something like this. So they're a little bit big, but they should do their purpose, so big jumps. Rear sprocket. This sprocket is actually a touch smaller than the one that's on there currently, but what I want to do is I want to order another one to put on this jack shaft, so that way I can kind of get the jack shaft speeds dropped down a little bit as well, so braking will be a little easier, and then that way it'll take up a little bit of slack in that chain, so the chain will fit better as well. For right now, I'm going to just slap this one on the rear. It's only 2T smaller, so it's not going to make a ton of difference. All the bearing kits and everything from Go Power Sports. These bushings, I got these off of eBay. I'll put links to everything in the description. The shocks I got on eBay as well. But these bushings are going to be for the new swing arm mount. So I'm still going to be doing a swing arm setup, so that way the chain doesn't derail. So we'll see what happens.
Shall we begin?
As I was taking this rear suspension apart, I figured out I never actually swapped out my mock-up bolts for bolts that had nuts on them. So the rear suspension was never actually bolted in the upper mount. I also had only welded one side, so I was able to just wiggle it back and forth and break them off. So I don't know how that wasn't a complete disaster, but somehow it managed to hold while we were sending it. We'll fix it all up, and it'll be way better this time to actually be welded and bolted in. These were front shocks off of a snowmobile. We're going to these Fox podium shocks off the back of a Polaris Rzr. Should be a little bit of an upgrade. I don't have a 5/8 drill bit, and the step drill 5/8 is the third one from the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the top two off so that way I can drill straight through multiple layers and not have the outside hole be very large. We're gonna start building this rear axle setup. I'm gonna have 4 bearings across here, the sprocket, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build kind of an axle tube out of probably 3 pieces of tubing. And what I'm gonna do is I'll run them kind of along here in a triangle type shape, and then they'll kind of bend around where the sprocket's gonna be. So they'll probably be straight along here, do a little bend around and back down, and there will be more bearings in between. Well, the sprocket's going to be over here, but you get the idea. So we're going to start building that, and then that way I can figure out the length I want there so I can kind of get the distance to build those tubes. So I should have checked after the first tack that I did before I added the second one. Kind of an idiot and didn't get these lined up right. Not sure how I managed that. Looks like I'm going to cut one of those back off and turn it and redo it. Well, now that these are actually on here the correct direction, it should slide on in here if I can hold everything out of the way enough. There we go. I'm going to replicate the same thing that I just did here on this other side, and then I'll end up doing another short little piece down low. So I'll have these 2 separate pieces built, and then I'll bend a piece to go up over the top that'll run the full length of everything up over the top, and then one around the back side as well. so after looking at it some, and then thinking about it, and then looking at it some more, decided to add in a second bar right across the front. So these are going to be pivoted down towards the front, and then added in these repurposed brackets that we cut off the frame from the old swing arm. And what I'm going to do is build a piece of tube to run in between like this, and then that way the chain can go on either side of it through the front and it won't hit it at all. And then I'll build another one probably over the top or the back. Haven't decided yet. I'll have to look at it some more. That actually turned out way better than I expected it to for my first try. It's the only piece of bent tubing that I've ever done that actually turned out on my first try, so I'm impressed with myself.